In the depths of space, a signal pulsed through the void, a desperate cry for help from a civilization unknown to humanity. Dr. Mira Klein sat in her cluttered lab, surrounded by monitors flickering with data. She had spent weeks deciphering the transmission that had reached Earth. Against all odds, the distress signal was clear enough for her to recognize the urgency it carried. Each pulse resonated with an unspoken plea for assistance. It originated from a planet called Lithara, nestled in a distant galaxy. Mira leaned closer to the screen, her heart racing, as she analyzed the signal that had been detected by a deep space observatory she had been working at since she graduated from the academy. The encoded message revealed that Lithara was facing an unprecedented disaster. A rogue black hole was rapidly approaching its solar system, and the very fabric of their existence hung in the balance. She felt a mixture of excitement and dread. A new frontier of human exploration awaited them, but at what cost? After hours of poring over the data, she compiled her findings into a presentation for the United Nations Assembly. An emergency session had been called to address this unexpected cosmic event. As Mira stepped into the grand hall, she felt the weight of the moment. She was about to present the fate of an alien civilization to a body of representatives from around the world, and the stakes could not have been higher. The room buzzed with energy as delegates took their seats. Murmurs filled the air as she approached the podium. A hush fell over the assembly. Mira could see skepticism etched on the faces of many members, their thoughts clearly wandering to the implications of helping an alien race. Could humanity extend its hand across the stars? She began her presentation with the raw data outlining the trajectory of the black hole, its relentless path toward Lithara, and the imminent destruction it would bring. As she spoke, her voice steady, she revealed the advanced technology of the Lithari, the alien civilization that had sent the signal. She described their bioluminescent cities, their rich culture, and their profound understanding of gravitational forces. The more she spoke, the more captivated some members of the assembly became, yet others remained firmly entrenched in their doubts. What if the Lithari were not as advanced as she claimed? What if this was a trap, a ploy to lure humanity into an interstellar conflict? The questions loomed large as Mira continued her presentation, laying out the potential benefits of forging an alliance with this alien race. She argued that in aiding the Lithari, they might not only save a civilization, but also gain invaluable knowledge that could one day protect Earth from similar cosmic threats. The tension in the room escalated as the council debated the merits of intervention. Some members spoke passionately about moral obligations, while others expressed grave concerns about the risks of engaging with an unknown civilization. Mira felt her heart pounding as the discussions reached a fever pitch. In the midst of the chaos, the head of the assembly, an elder statesman named General Victor Reynolds, called for order with a steely gaze. He demanded a vote, and the assembly fell silent as they prepared to cast their ballots on whether to send a team to Lithara. Captain Elena Torres was chosen to lead the mission, a seasoned officer with a reputation for courage and diplomacy. As Mira watched the vote unfold, she felt a glimmer of hope igniting within her. If they could just reach Lithara in time, perhaps they could forge a bond that would change the fate of both worlds forever. With the decision made, the clock began ticking, and Mira knew that every second counted. The fate of the Lithari rested in their hands, and she could only hope they were not too late. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the bustling spaceport, Captain Elena Torres stood on the observation deck, staring at the sleek starship awaiting her command. The vessel, named Horizon's Dawn, was one of humanity's most advanced exploratory ships, equipped with cutting-edge technology and a diverse crew selected for their unique skills. Elena felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension as she contemplated the mission ahead. The team was assembled in the ship's briefing room, a mix of scientists, engineers, and diplomats, each chosen for their expertise and experience. Mira Klein stood at the forefront, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm and determination. Elena couldn't help but admire the young scientist's passion for the unknown, but she also recognized the weight of responsibility resting on their shoulders. The fate of an entire civilization depended on their success. "Thank you all for coming," Elena began, her voice steady as she looked around the room. We are embarking on a mission that could change the course of history. We have received a distress signal from the Lithari civilization, and our objective is to assess their situation, offer assistance, and if possible help them avert disaster." She paused, allowing the gravity of her words to sink in. Mira leaned forward, her brow furrowed with concern. "Captain, with the black hole approaching, we don't have much time. The Lithari are technologically advanced, but they are desperate. We need to understand their technology if we are to help them." "I understand that," Mira Alina replied, her gaze firm. "We'll need to work quickly and efficiently to make the most of our time on Lithara." She then turned to the rest of the crew. "I want each of you to be prepared for anything we might encounter. The Lithari might be willing to accept our help, or they might see us as a threat. We must remain vigilant and adaptable." As the ship prepared for launch, the crew members hurried to finalize their equipment, ensuring they had everything necessary for the journey ahead. Alina felt a knot of anticipation tighten in her stomach. She had trained for missions before, but this one felt different. It was not merely an exploration, but a rescue, a lifeline thrown into the darkness of space. With the final checks complete and the crew on board, the engines roared to life, illuminating the hangar with a brilliant blue glow as the horizon's dawn ascended into the skies. The earth below shrank away, and the vastness of space stretched out before them. Alina took a deep breath, grounding herself in the moment. They were leaving everything familiar behind to venture into the unknown. Hours turned into days as they traveled through the cosmos. The crew worked tirelessly to analyze the data from the Lithari signal and develop strategies for engagement. Mira spent countless hours with the engineers devising a way to enhance their communication systems, hoping to bridge the gap between their two civilizations. As they approached Lithara, the anticipation in the ship was palpable. Everyone felt the weight of the mission pressing down on them. When the planet finally came into view, it was breathtaking. The swirl of vibrant colors and luminescent clouds glimmered beneath them. Alina couldn't help but marvel at the beauty of the alien world. As they entered its atmosphere, the ship began to shake. Turbulence rattled the crew, but Alina held firm. She had trained for this moment. "Brace for landing," she called out, her voice steady. "Prepare for immediate contact once we touch down." As they descended into the heart of Lithara, the lush landscapes came into focus, the bioluminescent flora illuminating the twilight with hues of blue and green. The ship touched down with a soft thud, and the crew exchanged anxious glances. Alina activated the ship's communication system. "This is Captain Alina Torres of the Horizon's Dawn. We have arrived and seek to assist you." Her voice echoed across the planet as they prepared to make first contact with the Lithari, a civilization on the brink of collapse. Little did they know that the challenges ahead would test not only their resolve, but also the very essence of what it meant to be allies across the stars. As the ramp of Horizon's Dawn lowered, a rush of cool, fragrant air enveloped Captain Alina Torres and her crew. The bioluminescent flora surrounding the landing site pulsed softly, casting an ethereal glow across the landscape. Alina stepped down first, her boots crunching on the vibrant soil, and her senses heightened in the presence of a new world. Dr. Mira Klein followed closely, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the breathtaking environment. The towering trees, their trunks twisting like spirals, were adorned with shimmering leaves that seemed to dance with the wind. Faint echoes of alien wildlife filled the air, adding a strange melody to the scene. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered, and for a moment, awe overshadowed the gravity of their mission. As the crew disembarked, a group of Lithari approached cautiously. They were tall and slender, their skin glowing softly in shades of blue and green. Long, flowing hair seemed to mimic the colors of their surroundings, and their large, expressive eyes held a depth of emotion that Alina found both unsettling and captivating. The lead figure stepped forward, radiating an air of authority mixed with uncertainty. "I am Eldara," she announced, her voice melodic yet firm. "You come from the stars to help us." Alina nodded, her heart racing at the directness of the inquiry. "Yes, we received your distress signal. We're here to assist in any way we can." Eldara's expression softened slightly, but the worry in her eyes was unmistakable. Time is short. The black hole approaches, and we are not prepared. Follow me. As they walked through the lush landscape, Mira could hardly contain her excitement. She turned to Eldara, eager to learn more about their technology. Your signal mentioned advanced gravitational manipulation devices. Can you show us? Eldara glanced back, a hint of pride surfacing. Yes, but they are incomplete. Our scientists have been working tirelessly, yet we lack the resources and manpower to finish them. Many have lost hope. Alina felt a pang of empathy. We're here to change that. Let's see what you have. The group arrived at a vast, domed structure made of crystalline material, reflecting the vibrant colors of the surrounding flora. Inside, the air was filled with the hum of machinery, and Lithari scientists moved hurriedly among consoles and screens. Mira's eyes widened at the intricate technology, a blend of organic and mechanical design. "Welcome to our research center," Eldara said, gesturing around the room. "This is where we harness our knowledge of gravity and energy. But our greatest invention, our last hope, lies in the core chamber." As they made their way deeper into the facility, the atmosphere shifted. The Lithari scientists were visibly strained, their faces drawn with fatigue. Alina could sense the weight of despair among them. They reached the core chamber, a vast space filled with a massive device that pulsed rhythmically, like a heartbeat. "This is our gravitational stabilization array," Eldara explained, her voice tinged with sorrow. "It has the potential to shift the trajectory of the black hole, but it requires a final sequence that only a full team of experts can execute. Without help, we fear it will fail." Mira stepped forward, her analytical mind racing. "What does the final sequence involve? We can help you complete this." Eldara hesitated, glancing at her fellow scientists. "It requires a complex recalibration of the energy cores, but we are too few to manage it. The Koran, those who oppose your presence, believe we should not rely on outsiders." Alina's resolve hardened. "We need to unite your people. Together, we can finish this and save Lithara. This is not just about technology. It's about hope." As the Lithari exchanged worried glances, Alina felt the weight of the moment press upon them. She understood the enormity of the task ahead, convincing a divided civilization to come together in the face of an impending disaster. But she also felt the flicker of possibility igniting within her, a chance to bridge worlds and create lasting bonds that could withstand the challenges of the cosmos. "We're here to help," Alina assured them. "We need to show them that our unity can be our greatest strength." As the Lithari nodded slowly, a spark of determination flickered in their eyes. The journey to save their civilization had begun, but it would require courage and collaboration from both sides to succeed against the cosmic threat looming ever closer. With renewed determination, Captain Alina Torres and Dr. Mira Klein worked alongside Eldara and the Lithari scientists to strategize their next steps. The atmosphere in the core chamber buzzed with a mixture of hope and tension. They needed to convince the Koran faction that collaboration with the humans was crucial for their survival, but the path ahead was fraught with obstacles. As the group gathered around a holographic display of the gravitational stabilization array, Mira began outlining the technical aspects of the project. "The energy cores need recalibration to enhance the output. If we can synchronize your technology with our systems, we might have a fighting chance," she explained, her fingers gliding over the holographic interface. Eldara nodded, her expression serious. "I will gather those willing to join us, but the Koran are deeply distrustful of outsiders. They believe that we should not rely on human technology, that we can solve our problems alone. We need to show them that working together is our only option," Alina interjected. "We have to demonstrate the capabilities of our technology. If we can stabilize the array in front of them, they might see reason." "Then we need a plan," Mira said, her brow furrowing in thought. "We can set up a demonstration of the calibration process. We'll invite the Koran leaders to witness it firsthand. If they see it in action, They might understand the necessity of collaboration. Eldara sighed, the weight of her people's burdens visible in her eyes. I will speak to them, but they are set in their ways. The Koran value pride and tradition above all. Convincing them will not be easy. Determined, Alina decided they would start immediately. We'll need to work quickly to prepare for the demonstration. Mira, gather the technical team and start drafting the calibration sequences. I'll arrange a meeting with Eldara to plan our approach with the Koran. As the crew split up to execute their tasks, Alina felt the pulse of urgency driving her forward. The black hole was still on its deadly course, and time was slipping away like sand through her fingers. Later that evening, the Lithari gathered in a vast communal hall adorned with glowing crystals. Alina and Mira stood at the front, flanked by Eldara, as she prepared to address a crowd of Lithari citizens and the wary Koran leaders. The tension in the room was palpable, with whispers of dissent rippling through the audience. People of Lithara, Eldara began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. We are facing a threat that endangers us all. The humans have come to assist us in our time of need. Their technology could help stabilize our gravitational array and save our planet. A murmur of disbelief surged through the crowd, led by the Koran leader, a tall figure named Varric, who stepped forward, eyes narrowed. We do not need their help. Our ancestors built our civilization on the strength of our own capabilities. Why should we trust these outsiders? Alina stepped forward, feeling the weight of Varric's scrutiny. We understand your concerns, she said, her voice calm but firm. But the black hole is an existential threat. If we don't act together, we all perish. We're offering you our knowledge and skills in good faith. Let us show you what we can accomplish side by side. Varric's gaze bore into her, assessing her sincerity. And if your technology fails? If you lead us to ruin? Mira interjected, passion evident in her tone. What if you do nothing? The black hole will not wait for us to settle our differences. Let us demonstrate the stabilization process. If it fails, we will accept responsibility. But if it succeeds, we save our worlds together. A tense silence fell over the assembly, and Alina could see doubt flickering in the eyes of some Koran members. Eldara took a deep breath, her voice strong. We are at a crossroads. We can choose to stand divided and face destruction, or unite our strengths and fight for our survival. I choose to believe in hope. After a long pause, Varric's expression softened ever so slightly. Very well. We will witness your demonstration, but know that trust is earned, not given lightly. As the crowd dispersed, Alina felt a surge of determination. They had secured a chance to prove their worth, a small victory amidst the uncertainty. The time for action was now, and with the Koran leaders willing to observe, they had an opportunity to bridge the gap between their civilizations. That night, as Alina and Mira reviewed their plans, they could sense the tide beginning to shift. They would face challenges, but together, they had the potential to save Lithara and forge a new alliance that spanned the cosmos. The morning light bathed the bioluminescent landscape of Lithara in a soft glow as Captain Alina Torres and her crew prepared for the demonstration. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation and tension, and Alina could feel the weight of expectations pressing down on her shoulders. Today would be pivotal not only for the fate of the Lithari, but also for the future of humanity's relationship with this alien civilization. In the core chamber, Alina and Dr. Mira Klein worked alongside Lithari scientists, adjusting the calibration settings for the gravitational stabilization array. The device loomed large, a complex network of organic and mechanical components that pulsed with a life of its own. Alina marveled at the intricacy of the technology, recognizing the brilliance that had gone into its design. Are we ready? Mira asked, her voice tinged with nervous energy as she checked the systems one last time. Alina nodded, her resolve strengthening. We have to be. This demonstration is crucial to gaining the trust of the Koran. If we can successfully stabilize the gravitational field even for a moment, It will prove that collaboration is our only hope." As they finalized preparations, Eldara entered, flanked by Koran leaders, including Varric. The atmosphere in the room shifted, a mixture of skepticism and curiosity radiating from the Koran contingent. Varric's eyes narrowed as he observed the humans, and Elena felt a flicker of apprehension. "Let's begin," Eldara said, her voice steady. "Show us what you can do." With a deep breath, Elena stepped forward and activated the display console. Holographic projections of the black hole's trajectory filled the chamber, illuminating the worried faces around her. "As you can see, the black hole is nearing our system. If we don't act, we risk losing everything." Varric crossed his arms, still unconvinced. "And what makes you believe your methods will work?" "We believe that by harnessing the combined power of our technologies, we can redirect its path," Mira explained, her fingers flying over the controls. "We'll demonstrate how we can manipulate gravitational forces to create a stabilizing field." The Lithari scientists gathered around, and Elena could sense their hope mingling with their fears. As they initiated the sequence, the stabilization array came to life, the rhythmic pulse intensifying. Energy swirled within the device, creating a shimmering aura that filled the chamber with a vibrant glow. Elena glanced at Mira, who was monitoring the systems closely. "Ready on your mark," Mira said, her voice steadied despite the palpable tension. "On 3, Elena replied, heart racing. 1, 2, 3. With a swift motion, they initiated the calibration sequence. The energy cores hummed to life, sending ripples of light through the array. For a moment, nothing happened, and a hush fell over the room, filled only with the sound of the machine's steady hum. Then, as if awakening from slumber, the array surged with energy, creating a brilliant display of gravitational waves that radiated outward. The room gasped as the holographic projection of the black hole began to shift. The Lithari watched in awe as the stabilization array fought against the monstrous gravitational pull of the black hole, creating a visible barrier that pushed back against its dark tendrils. Elena felt a surge of triumph, but her heart raced as she noticed fluctuations in the energy levels. "Mira, we're losing stabilization." "I see it," Mira shouted, her eyes focused. "I need to recalibrate the energy distribution. Give me a moment." Elena exchanged a glance with Eldara, who looked both hopeful and anxious. Varric's expression remained guarded, but the curiosity in his eyes was undeniable. They had to succeed. As Mira worked frantically at the console, adjusting the controls, the fluctuations intensified. The room filled with tension, and Elena felt a sinking feeling. Failure would mean not just the loss of their mission, but a potential loss of life on both sides. Finally, with a determined push, Mira completed the recalibration. "Now, increase output." Elena's heart pounded as she punched in the final commands. The array surged with energy, the gravitational waves stabilizing into a shimmering barrier that pushed back the holographic representation of the black hole. The tension in the room shifted, and Elena caught sight of the Koran leaders exchanging glances, their skepticism wavering. As the demonstration reached its climax, the stabilization field held steady, and the black hole's projection began to shift away from the planet. Gasps of awe filled the chamber, and for the first time, Elena felt a wave of hope wash over her. Eldara turned to Varric, her voice filled with conviction. "This is what we can achieve together. Imagine what we could do if we combined our knowledge." Varric's expression softened, and he slowly nodded, the walls of mistrust beginning to crumble. "Perhaps there is merit in your proposal after all," he admitted, and the collective tension in the room shifted toward possibility. Elena exchanged a relieved glance with Mira, feeling the momentum shift in their favor. They had taken a crucial step toward uniting the Lithari and securing their future. Now, it was time to build on that success, forging a bond that would stand against the darkness threatening to consume them all. The atmosphere in the core chamber had transformed from one of skepticism to cautious optimism. As the shimmering stabilization field held strong, Captain Elena Torres felt a surge of hope ripple through the room. The Coran leaders, once entrenched in their distrust, were now watching with newfound curiosity and admiration. Varric, the Coran leader, stepped forward, his gaze fixed on the stabilization array. "You have shown us a glimpse of what collaboration can achieve," Varric admitted, his voice steady but thoughtful. "But we must still be cautious. Our culture teaches us to value self-sufficiency. Can we truly trust you?" Eldara nodded, stepping closer to Varric. "Trust is built over time, but we face an immediate threat. If we do not unite our strengths, we will lose everything. The humans have already risked their lives to help us." Elena felt the weight of their words. "We're not here to impose our ways on you. We want to help you harness your own technology alongside ours. Together, we can enhance the stabilization array, but we need your expertise and resources." Mira stepped in, her voice filled with urgency. "Our time is limited. If we can combine our efforts, we can complete the array and stabilize it before the black hole reaches our solar system. I know we can make it work." Varric considered this, glancing at his fellow Coran leaders. The tension in the air was palpable as they deliberated. Finally, he sighed, a reluctant acceptance washing over his features. "Very well. We will assist you, but understand this. We will not sacrifice our identity for your technology. We will find a way to integrate it into our existing systems." A wave of relief washed over Elena and Mira. "Thank you, Varric," Elena said, her voice sincere. "Together, we'll create a solution that honors both our civilizations." The group began to strategize, dividing tasks based on their individual strengths. Lithari engineers worked alongside the humans, pooling their knowledge to enhance the gravitational stabilization array. As the hours passed, the atmosphere shifted from tension to camaraderie, with shared laughter and stories creating a sense of unity. During a brief break, Elena found herself speaking with Varric. "I admire your people's resilience," she said, genuine admiration in her voice. "You've faced so much adversity." Varric nodded, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "We have learned to adapt, but the fear of the unknown has always haunted us. The Coran believe that any reliance on outside help is a sign of weakness. It is hard to shake that belief." "It's not weakness, it's strength to seek help when needed," Elena replied. "Every civilization has its strengths and weaknesses. Together, we can be stronger." As the day turned into night, the core chamber glowed with a vibrant energy, reflecting the hope that had blossomed between the two civilizations. They worked late into the evening, driven by the urgency of their task. Finally, as dawn approached, the team stood before the enhanced stabilization array, now a fusion of Lithari and human technology. The shimmering device pulsed with energy, a testament to their collaboration. Mira stepped forward, her eyes shining with determination. "This is it. If we can initiate the final calibration sequence, we'll be ready for the black hole." Elena nodded, adrenaline surging through her veins. "We've come so far. Let's finish this." They gathered around the console, and Mira inputted the final commands. The room held its breath as the array hummed to life, energy swirling in a mesmerizing dance. Eldara placed a hand on Elena's shoulder, her expression a mix of hope and fear. "We will succeed, won't we?" Elena met her gaze, determination etched on her face. "We have to. For all of us." As they initiated the sequence, the stabilization array activated, sending ripples of energy into the atmosphere. The holographic projection of the black hole began to respond, the gravitational field bending and reshaping as their combined efforts took effect. But then, alarms blared throughout the chamber, and the energy levels began to fluctuate dangerously. Mira's fingers flew over the controls. "No, we're losing power. We need more energy." Varric stepped forward, his eyes sharp with focus. "We must harness the energy from the core directly. It's risky, but it may be our only option." Elena felt a swell of determination. "Do it. We'll manage the risks together. We're in this as one." As they worked together, the stakes had never been higher. With their combined efforts, they would either save Lithara or face the darkness looming ever closer. They would rise or fall together, bound by the trust they had forged amid the chaos of their worlds. The alarms blared a relentless warning, drowning out the sounds of urgency as Captain Alina Torres and her team scrambled to stabilize the situation. Mira's fingers danced across the console, her eyes wide with determination. "We need to reroute power from the auxiliary systems to the energy core," she shouted over the noise. "It's our only chance." Varric nodded, his expression fierce as he turned to the Lithari engineers. "You heard the human. Prepare to transfer energy from all operational systems. We must act now." Alina felt her heart racing, a mixture of fear and adrenaline propelling her forward. "Mira, how much time do we have before the black hole reaches us?" "Less than 12 hours, Mira replied, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "If we can stabilize the gravitational field, we'll have a chance to divert its trajectory. But we need full power, and we need it now." The Lithari engineers sprang into action, their bioluminescent skin glowing as they worked in unison with the human crew. Alina could see the resolve on their faces, a shared commitment to save their home. It was a testament to the bond they had forged in such a short time. As they prepped the energy transfer, Eldara approached, her voice calm but urgent. "We are ready. But if we do this, there is no going back. We risk overloading the systems. It could lead to catastrophic failure." Alina met her gaze, a fierce determination in her eyes. "We'll manage it. We've come too far to back down now. This is our chance to save both our civilizations." With a nod of agreement, the group prepared to initiate the transfer. Alina and Mira worked together to adjust the energy output levels, while Varric coordinated the Lithari engineers. The tension in the room grew as everyone focused on their tasks, knowing that failure was not an option. "On my mark," Alina called out, her heart pounding. 3, 2, 1. Initiate. The room vibrated as power surged through the core, the stabilization array pulsating with energy. The holographic projection of the black hole flickered, its dark tendrils battling against the growing gravitational field. For a moment, it appeared that their efforts were succeeding, but then the alarms blared even louder, signaling that the energy levels were spiking dangerously high. "Reduce input. Reduce input," Mira shouted, panic creeping into her voice. Varric shouted instructions to his engineers, and they began adjusting the output. "Redirect excess energy to the overflow systems. We must contain it." Alina focused on the readouts, her mind racing as she calculated their next move. "If we don't contain the overflow, we risk a chain reaction. We need to stabilize the core now." The room filled with a frenetic energy as everyone worked together, the line between human and Lithari blurring in their shared purpose. With a deep breath, Alina leaned into the controls, recalibrating the systems with Mira's guidance. "Hold steady," Mira urged, her eyes locked on the fluctuating readouts. "We can do this. We just need to maintain focus." Alina felt the weight of their hopes resting on her shoulders, but she refused to falter. "We're almost there. Just a little more." With one final push, the team managed to stabilize the core. The alarms quieted, and the pulsing energy settled into a steady rhythm. The holographic image of the black hole shifted, its dark tendrils slowly retracting in response to the gravitational field they had created. Cheers erupted around the chamber, a mixture of human and Lithari voices blending into a symphony of relief and triumph. Varric stepped forward, a genuine smile breaking across his usually stoic face. "You have done what we thought impossible. Together, we have changed our fate." Alina's heart soared at the moment of unity. "This is just the beginning. We've proven that when we work together, we can face any challenge." As the team celebrated, Mira approached Alina, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We did it, Alina. We actually did it." "Yes, we did," Alina replied, pulling her into a tight hug. But there's still much to do. We need to monitor the stabilization array and ensure it remains effective as the black hole moves closer. Just then, Eldera joined them, her face glowing with pride. You have given our people hope, Captain. The Koran are beginning to understand the power of collaboration. Varric interjected, his tone serious but softened by the moment's success. We still face a crisis, but with this alliance, we will confront whatever comes next. As they regrouped and began planning their next steps, Alina felt a surge of hope radiating through her. They had achieved the impossible, but the battle was far from over. Together, they would face the looming darkness, forging a bond that could withstand the cosmic challenges ahead. And as they prepared to confront the black hole, Alina knew one thing for certain. They would not be forsaken by the cosmos. The core chamber buzzed with activity as the newly united team of humans and Lithuri prepared for the next phase of their mission. Captain Alina Torres stood at the forefront, her heart racing with the weight of their impending confrontation with the black hole. Though they had stabilized the gravitational array, the threat was far from neutralized. Alina gathered her crew, alongside Eldara, Varric, and the Lithuri scientists. We've managed to stabilize the gravitational field, but the black hole is still on a destructive course toward our planet. We need a strategy to shift its trajectory for good. Mira nodded, her brow furrowed in concentration as she reviewed data on her tablet. We can initiate a series of calibrated bursts from the stabilization array. If we time them right, we might be able to create a gravitational wave strong enough to alter the black hole's path. Varric frowned, crossing his arms. And what if the bursts are too strong? We risk destabilizing our planet's orbit as well. Eldara placed a hand on Varric's shoulder, her voice calm but firm. This is the best chance we have. We must trust each other and our combined knowledge. Together, we can mitigate the risks. Alina met Varric's gaze, her expression resolute. We need to work as one, using every bit of our technology. We've made progress before, and we can do it again. This time, we'll focus on the bursts with precision. After a long pause, Varric finally nodded. Very well. Let's proceed. The team split into groups, with humans and Lithuri engineers collaborating seamlessly. The atmosphere was charged with urgency as they fine-tuned the calibration sequences. Alina moved among them, encouraging teamwork and fostering a sense of camaraderie. For the first time, the Koran were actively participating, their initial distrust melting away in the face of the looming threat. As they completed preparations, Mira's voice rang out. We're ready for the first burst. Everyone in position. Alina took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. Initiate on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Now. The stabilization array hummed with energy, and a brilliant wave of light erupted from it, expanding outward like a ripple across a pond. The holographic projection of the black hole flickered, responding to the energy burst. For a brief moment, it seemed as if the dark mass hesitated, its gravitational pull faltering. The room erupted into cheers, but Alina's heart raced. Don't celebrate yet. We need to monitor the trajectory. Mira's fingers flew across the console, her focus unwavering. Adjusting calculations, the black hole is shifting slightly, but it's not enough. We need another burst. Alina nodded, determination flooding her veins. Prepare the next burst. We'll need to increase the power this time. Are we ready? As they executed the adjustments, the tension in the room grew. Each member of the team was acutely aware of the stakes. This was not just a matter of science. It was about survival. Second burst ready. Mira called out, her voice steady. On your mark. 3, 2, 1. Initiate. The second burst exploded from the stabilization array, a massive wave of energy surging toward the black hole. For a moment, the darkness seemed to shimmer, and Alina felt a collective breath held in the chamber. Then the projection flickered violently, and the alarms blared once more. Power levels spiking. We're losing control. Mira shouted, her hands racing over the controls. "Redirect energy from the auxiliary systems," Varric barked, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Reinforce the stabilization protocols," Eldara added, her expression a mix of fear and determination. As they struggled to contain the surge of energy, Alina stepped forward, heart pounding. "We can't give up. This is our moment." With a final push, they managed to stabilize the output, but the damage had been done. The black hole was visibly altering course, slowly shifting away from their planet, but it was still unstable. The team was left breathless, and for a moment, the room was silent, the gravity of their achievement hanging in the air. "It's working," Mira exclaimed, her voice breaking the stillness. "Look." The holographic image of the black hole had begun to recede, its dark tendrils retreating as the gravitational waves pushed against it. The room erupted in cheers once more, the tension dissipating into a wave of relief and triumph. Alina turned to her team, her heart swelling with pride. "We did it. Together, we have faced the darkness and emerged victorious." As they celebrated their success, Varric stepped forward, his expression serious but softened by gratitude. "Your bravery and ingenuity have saved us. I see now that the strength of our civilizations lies in our willingness to unite." Eldara smiled, her eyes shining. "This is just the beginning. Together, we can face any challenge the cosmos throws our way." With the black hole diverted and their civilizations forever changed, Alina knew this alliance was a testament to the power of collaboration. They had faced insurmountable odds, but through trust and teamwork, they had forged a bond that transcended the stars, a promise that no one would be forsaken by the cosmos again.